Welcome to Eric's Story Time. This time we are looking at Amazing Man number 9. Ammon, the Amazing Man by Bill Everett. Ammon, the Amazing Man, having abandoned his plan to avenge the misdeeds of the Great Question because of the introduction of war in Europe, steals his own plane from the hands of the police and flies it to the battle area in France. He has been captured by the Germans but escaped with the use of the green mist. Now we find him in a stolen German plane bombing his way to the capital, Berlin. The pilot and observer are dead. It's unfortunate, but they would have been in my way. I shall have trouble enough getting to Berlin in any event. Coldly, Ammon drops bombs on every building in sight. Donnerwetter! One of our own bombers! Was this? My supply of bombs is getting low, and it's still many kilometers to Berlin. I'll have to... Uh-oh. Here comes trouble. One of our own ships, surely, but either a traitor or a disguised Frenchman, even as Ammon attempts to maneuver 2 Nazi attack planes drop from the clouds. Hampered by the bulk of the great bomber, Ammon is no match for the fast little planes until, suddenly, he climbs to the observer's cockpit and reaches for the machine gun, even as his disabled plane goes into a wild earthward spin. Gott in Himmel, I am hit! Ammon's deadly accuracy, even under apprehension of his approaching death, brings down the first of the 2 pursuit ships. Tragedy, death, the toll of aeronautical warfare. What is the fate of the Amazing Man? As the French would say, c'est bien, our pilots have downed the traitor. Quickly, Hermann, we must see if he is alive. Intense heat holds the Germans back, but suddenly one of them spies Ammon's body lying several yards away from the plane. God, he is a terrible sight, but I think he is not dead. Help me carry him to the guardhouse, Hermann. He is not a German, Herr Lieutenant. He has a slightly oriental look about him. I like that of a Mongolian or Tibetan. I cannot understand how he comes to have been in our bomber. It is a riddle, Hermann. I have heard that the infamous Amazing Man is running rampant on the front lines, and it may be that this is he. There is something strangely familiar about his face. Perhaps I have seen his picture in the papers. Then if this is the Amazing Man, we're in for plenty of trouble, whether we like it or not. Ho! You jest, Hermann. We are Nazis and he is powerless. Powerless? Perhaps, but it is terrible to think of what he has done. When der Führer learns of his capture, we will be well rewarded, Herr Lieutenant. And as the officers turn away, Ammon rises to his elbow, still stunned by the shock of the crash. Uh-oh, trouble again. What now? He is conscious! Lieutenant, look out! Ammon, summoning his depleted strength, leaps at the Nazi captors. Madly, he wreaks havoc in the guardhouse. Was ist? Thank the Lord you came, Karl. He nearly had us finished, but he is in bad shape. We must get him to a field hospital. But in his weakened condition, he is overwhelmed when another guard enters. Donnerwetter! It is the Amazing Man. How did you ever capture him, Herr Lieutenant? 20 minutes later, Ammon is admitted to the Nazi field hospital, many feet below the surface of the ground in the modern fortifications of the Siegfried Line. Oh, I never thought I'd lay eyes on the Amazing Man. But isn't he handsome, though? Handsome? Yes, but you're not nearly as surprised as I, Elsie. I've seen him before, though, in Tibet. 2 years ago, I was in Tibet with my father, an explorer. We saw the amazing man then, when he was still in training. He's a remarkable boy, and he is handsome. Ah, Aman, you fool. We, the Council of Seven, have molded you into a superhuman specimen, and yet you constantly bungle things, risking your life and our work of the past quarter century. Back in the mountains of Tibet, the great question contemplates Aman's predicament. Aman, I need you back in Tibet. You must escape somehow and come back to the monastery. I shall will you to recuperate fast, and will give you further orders when you are on your feet. By means of mental telepathy, the great question communicates with Aman in his semi-conscious state. He's acting delirious, Pat. Shall we call the doctor? Yes, I'm coming. Yes, you prepare a hypo. I'll get him. Must get out of here. Aman, influenced by the great question, rises from his bed. Must be careful. Having found his clothes, Aman slips into the hall and is startled by voices approaching. Eric, it is that amazing man. He is trying to escape. After him. Dive for him, Eric. Not so fast, my friends. The fight is on. Aman, with the superhuman strength of a madman, rips into his opponents with a vengeance. The mist, Aman. That green mist. Mein Gott, Eric, he vanished right under our very eyes. I had him by the throat, and then suddenly he just wasn't there anymore. Yeah, it is crazy. My head aches. I am weak. The mist seems to be thinning, perhaps because of my condition. I'll take another shot of the formula. Fearing that he may be seen due to the thinning of the green mist, Aman ducks into a room that appears to be some kind of a laboratory. It's gone. Aman reaches for the hypodermic case, only to find that it has disappeared. Some kind of hypodermic needle, isn't it, Eric? Here, give me that. Aman attacks the interns, grabbing the case from their hands. In the scuffle, a glass vial falls to the floor. Good Lord, the man is dead. That odor. Heterocorin. Professor Nika told me it would be deadly poisonous if it contacted his own formula. This mist. My clothes are saturated with it. Now, I'm beginning to get weaker. Carl, look, the amazing man. Again, Aman is barred in his escape. The guard leaps. With a superhuman bound, Aman flies over the Nazi. Completing his leap, Aman springs through a door to be confronted by a squad of armed men. Aman flies into action, smashing the soldiers in every direction, but he grows weaker. A Nazi attacks from behind. Ah, Himmel, at last we have the amazing man. Aman is overpowered. To the adjutant with him. We'll see how amazing he is when he faces the firing squad. Fearing to use the green mist again, as his clothes are still soaked with the poisonous fluid from the intern's vial, Aman allows himself to be led away. You are a spy. You have come here to get information for the French army. Well, you have failed, Mr. Amazing Man. You will face the firing squad immediately. Aman, you must stall them off until the fumes of the nitrocorin evaporate from your clothes. Then you may use the mist again and escape. I command your strength to return at once. In an elevator rising to the surface, the great question commands Aman's strength to return. Aman summons all his strength and becomes tense. watching the guards shrewdly. Blitzen, was ist das? Like a streak of lightning, Amon seizes a guard and goes completely berserk. Don't shoot, men! You will hit our own guards! Now we have him. Quickly now, to your stations. The mist, Amon, now! Donnerwetter was suddenly the green mist. Like a cloud of fury, the mist rolls along the line, disabling the entire squad, leaving men fatally wounded and guns wrecked, bayonets piercing screaming bodies. The amazing man is on the rampage. What kind of building can that be? Exposed as it is to shell fire, but no, I see it's protected by this wall. I'll take a look into it. Leaping to the top of the wall, looking for a means of escape, Amon espies a glass-roofed building. Ach, was ist? Amon crashes through, and again the green mist comes in contact with deadly fumes of heterochorin. I think this may prove valuable. Heterochorin. The chemists fall dead, victims of the poisonous gas created by the combination of the heterochorin and the green mist. Heterochorin is highly explosive. Here goes. Amon, in final vengeance, before completing his escape, dumps the heterochorin into a huge melting pot. He runs out. Boom! Outside, Amon leaps clear of the terrific explosion, which tears away the laboratory and surrounding fortifications. Ah, a means of rapid escape. The motorcycle. Amon sends the officer crashing to the ground as he hits the motorcycle in full force. Donnerwetter, did you see that, Wilhelm? I'll head for the airport. I can get a plane there to carry me away from this nest of rats. 3 minutes later, Amon speeds past a train of armored cars and tanks. Good. There's a plane, getting ready to leave. I'll stow away on it. With the screaming of brakes, Amon pulls to a quick stop at the airport. Amon sneaks behind the officers and enters the plane unnoticed. Are you ready, Joseph? This flight leaves for Moscow in 3 minutes. You'd better take your place. The motors are warm. This is wonderful. Moscow, the first step east on my return to Tibet. I wonder what will happen on this flight. Will Amon get to Tibet without mishap? Look for your next issue of Amazing Man Comics. Join us next time for another classic comic book story.